In New York Times bestselling author Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which is legendary, I think one of the best books that's been written in the last decade on life, neuroscience, how the brain works, how reality is created, and more importantly, how to change it. And in this video, I was going to break down an easy manifestation technique that you can use to take what you're holding in your mind and materialize it in your life. This is directly from Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And in this, he's telling this story about his daughter, and she's looking to study abroad in Europe. And she's in college, and she comes to him and says, "Hey, Daddy, I really want to do this thing." And he said, it's not that I'm not a supporting parent, but I want her to learn about the power of creation and how things actually manifest into your life. And so he challenged her to set an intention to attract an opportunity into her reality that would pay for the entire time abroad when she was in Europe, and she would get the expenses covered. So he teaches her about how to visualize. He calls it mentally rehearsing. And I like that word, mentally rehearsing, because it evokes not just an image, but you really being in the image. And he reminds his daughter that if you come out of your mental rehearsal the same person, then when you got into it, then you weren't mentally rehearsing. You didn't get emotionally involved in it. And he says the point of that is because the emotional involvement is what sparks the new cells in the brain, activates the brain in a new way. And that's how you use Hebb's law to fire and wire your brain in a new way, right? So he reminds his daughter of that, and it's like all cute. And she's like, "Yes, Dad, I know that." And so she goes off to set this intention. And she comes back and she says, "Dad, I got this great opportunity, and oh my gosh." And he says, "Wow, you already got it all paid for?" And she says, "Well, it's only half. I got half of it paid for. Dad, can you pay for the rest?" And he said, "Well, I thought our original intention was you were gonna get the whole thing paid for, that you were gonna attract that experience in. So go out and give it another try." And then she comes back a couple days later, and she ends up getting an opportunity to not only get everything covered, but actually get paid to help teach the language to tourists. So she ended up not only getting her entire trip and everything covered for her semester abroad, but actually getting paid so that she could go out on the weekends and go travel all over Europe and do fun stuff and have the budget to do it. She attracted that situation. And the point out of that is that Dispenza says to actually set the intention to evoke an omen, like set a real tangible thought experiment to harness the power of consciousness by using mental rehearsal, reimagining it, and getting emotionally involved in that idea, so that when we get up from the time with our eyes closed, we actually feel different. And you get to this point where you start to feel, Neville Goddard talks about that you start to feel as if your mental rehearsal is as real as the outer world when you come back and you open your eyes back up. And so I've been using this technique ever since I first read that book. That book's changed my life more than any other book, something that I've just read over and over and over and over again. And recently, I said, one of my mentors wanted me to get this big, huge goal that I thought was insane. And he's the one that suggested it. And it was like, I was like, there's no way I'm not sure about that. And it made me uncomfortable. And he said, "Well, you don't need to worry about how, just set the intention, and the perfect means will come about." And so I set the intention, and I started mentally rehearsing it, and I started just putting it in my consciousness and writing it on an index card, a 3x5 card. And amazing things, to say the least, started attracting into my life and presented an opportunity that I'm so excited about. It's bigger than I ever could have imagined. And it all happened because I set the intention. I said, well, I'll write this down and then I'm going to do a thought experiment. Just like he had his daughter do a thought experiment. Hey, do a thought experiment. Don't just believe these ideas, actually do a thought experiment and see over the next however long you can attract a new financial opportunity, a new idea, clarity around your problem, new relationships, a new mentor, new romance, new creative and inspiring ideas. Just set the intention and start at whatever level feels comfortable. And then as you see, wow, that thing came into my life. Then you just keep gamifying it and being like, well, if I could do that, then what about this? And if I could do that, then what about this? And so it becomes not about the outcome, but about the process to see what is the human mind and human consciousness actually capable of. Now, I know this is like YouTube, and so we're not sitting next to each other, but hey, what the heck? I encourage you to grab a pen and pad and pick an intention or an omen, just like Joe writes about in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself with his daughter, just like I shared one of mine. Pick one and write it down. And then once a day, start practicing mentally rehearsing it. What I would do is just, quite frankly, something casual. Whether I was in the mood to sit, whether I was in the mood to lie down, be in bed, whatever it was, the bath, who cares? A time when you can close your eyes and start to disassociate from the outside physical world, your present circumstances in your life, and start mentally rehearsing that omen and then let go of it. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button right over there to send it out into the YouTube universe. Subscribe and bell notification. The bell notification is what notifies you for new videos. So even if you're already subscribed, double check you hit the bell notification right over there.